Now we're in level 1-1 Skull. And hard mode is just regular mode, but harder. Like, these little skeletons now fire bones everywhere. Which makes them one of the toughest monsters in the game, honestly. So hard mode, the levels just remixed a little bit. And there are mechanics in hard mode that don't exist in easy mode. And we are still going to break every checkpoint. And it's possible I'll run out of lives, and this Let's Play is going to be very sad. I don't think that's very likely, but it is possible. Which checkpoint did I not blow up? It was like the very first one in the game. It was something dumb. You can shoot out the torches, but that doesn't actually do anything. No, there is one torch in the very first tower you shoot out to get an elephant medallion. So we've got elephant medallion, we've got a root beer medallion, and we've got Batman so far. That's our medallion collection so far. And if you want the best ending in the game, you do have to get all the medallions. I actually don't know if that's true. I don't think I've ever completed the entire game without getting all the medallions. That was a great jump, Brickroad. It does feel a little strange playing this game now, because when I first bought it, I played all of these old pixel games, all the old retro games, all my emulator stuff with my Steam controller, which has just the touch D-pad. And I'm a big fan of the Steam controller, but I think my Steam controller has finally given up the ghost. It has stopped working. I've like reset the firmware a couple times. It didn't seem to help. Oh, this is the checkpoint that I screwed up last time. I screwed it up again! It might not be possible to break that checkpoint. I feel like making that wall jump up is always going to collect the checkpoint. The impossible checkpoint. That one should be worth 5,000 points. So what I did is I bought a controller called an 8-bit-do controller. It's a Nintendo Switch controller, but it's a USB controller, so it plugs into PC as well. And it's structured like an SNES controller, so it kind of has the same feel. Actually, they got the weight and the texture of the SNES controller pretty good. I feel like the only thing that they missed is the D-pad doesn't feel very much like an SNES controller. The D-pad is it's got too much travel. The diagonals are too pronounced. There have been times when, like, I'm holding up on the D-pad, and if I'm not holding perfectly up, it'll register as a up left or up right input. So not exactly. The D-pad is my only actual complaint about the controller. It does have, it's a modern controller. They have thumbsticks and shoulder buttons on it. Other than that, I have no complaints about this controller, but there was actually a period of adjustment, because micromages, even though it is, I'm going to be very careful not to kill this skeleton. I do not need to get boner schnitzeled again. Even though it's an old school pixel game, my first encounters with it were with a controller with a touchpad instead of a D-pad. So going to an actual D-pad with it was a slight learning curve. I mean, I got the hang of it real quick. It didn't take forever. That bone almost had my number. Almost punched my ticket. I feel like I'm about due for another heart, aren't I? Can I get a heart, please? So we're gonna fight the bosses again. And just the fact that you have this many boss fights in this game is astounding, considering its limitations. But the boss is a little harder now because he spawns in the little mini ghosts as well. And that's probably going to translate to one more cycle fighting this guy. I'm hoping this game develops a pretty robust speedrunning community. I've watched some of the earlier speedruns. The game's only been out a couple months, so it hasn't been actually developed as a speedrun much yet. But I imagine that this game would have... I mean, it ought to have a perfect speedrun, right? Because the game uses a lot of cool technical tricks to minimize lag. There's not a lot of lag frames in the game. And you can tell you're moving at optimal speed because the tower will scroll continually vertically upward. So I'm expecting this game will have an actual optimized speedrun where every level they get the scrolling going as fast as possible and maintain a constant, perfect scrolling speed the entire time. Level 2 Skull, or Tower 2 Skull, I suppose, has ice floors. So we're just going to slip and slide, brother. That's what we're going to do now. I need to get a goose. Duck or moose or whatever it is. So, I actually really like how this game does save some of its tricks for the hard mode. It's actually not like a difficulty setting. It's actually not like a hard mode. It's more like Ghosts and Goblins. It's like a second loop. Oh no! Because of the ice physics, I slid into that checkpoint instead of destroying it. That's right, I'm blaming the ice physics. I'm not blaming myself for that one. Alright, I need to be very wary of this skelling man up here. Wait for him to actually turn around. There we go. Ah, yes, there's a free life. Why can't I get up? Oh my goodness, why can't I get up there? There's no ice physics on the rope, just not jumping far enough left. Maybe I should push up. Up equals left on this D-pad sometimes. That's what I should do. You know what? All that work for a 500-point orb, but I'll take it. I'll take it home. I'll take it to the bank. Let's deposit that. But you see now the secret of the World 3 medallion is revealed. It's just, you can't get it on the easy mode. You can't get it in the first loop. Wasn't sure if those bones would bounce off of... Ow! Ow! That's a spike wall that I just slid into. That wasn't fun for me. That was not fun for the whole family. Goat friends shoot 3 bubbles on the second loop. So yeah, it's like a Ghosts and Goblins kind of thing, where you gotta do 2 loops. That's a game that I never actually enjoyed that much, Ghosts and Goblins. I mean, you don't have jump control. This game you have jump control, and it's wonderful. There's a hit point, that's what I need. But I do know that Ghosts and Goblins, when you finish it, you get to the end of the game, and Princess What's-Her-Butt, I had to eat that hit, because I didn't kill that bubble ghost. I think I'm supposed to come up the other side there, actually. Yeah, Princess What's-Her-Butt in Ghosts and Goblins is like, ah, but I'm in another castle, or whatever it is she says. These little green men, these little green goblin men, believe it or not, are actually some of the most obnoxious enemies to fight in the game, because they jump your shots, and they're pretty wily about it, I'm not gonna lie. They're easier to fight if you get underneath them. Where's that bone going? Okay, that bone's gone. Alright, we got through that level by the skin of our teeth. Whew. That was not my greatest showing. I actually meant to play the Steam version of this for my test play. I was going to play this on the Steam version instead of on the emulator. Just so I could report like any differences. But I forgot that I was planning to do that. Oh, I got a duck. Wonderful. We got a whole train of ghosts coming down. That's fine. Wait for the bubble goats to be done. That's just another duck. We don't need that. All right, we're in good shape. Bubble goats are hard enough when they only fire 2 bubbles. Firing 3 is almost untenable. Let's see if I can sneak through here again. There we go. Really looking for a hit point is what we're looking for here. One of these crates, perhaps. Okay. We'll just let those ghosts live, or like unlive, or however that works for ghosts. Alright, so it's the same boss, but the thunder comes out faster, and you've got slippery floors now. And you guys know what I say, any game where you get to fight a Norse god is always always a good time. Lots of games steal Greek mythology, very few games steal Norse mythology. And Norse was known for its root beer god, I find. I think nobody has done more damage to Norse mythology over the years. Just in case you're about to write an angry letter to morphcat game about how dare you put a root beer god in the game as a Viking. Which I'm sure you were preparing to draft that up. I think nobody has done more damage to like Norse mythology as a whole than Marvel Comics with the Thor movies. I watched the first 2 of those. I'm not okay. Let me say this. Let me be full disclosure. I'm not the biggest fan of superhero movies in general. I love Batman. He's my favorite superhero, and many of the Batman movies I've enjoyed. I lost my duck. Which is not good. That's not what you want to have happen in your life. My wife absolutely loves the Thor movies. I think there are 3 of them, and I think I've watched 2 of them, and they were both absolutely terrible. I think that's an awful, awful character. And she's like, really? This is what they're doing with their Norse mythology character? I guess, and you guys have to correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I think... Where did I just see this? It was in the trailer for the new Avengers video game that came out recently, where to fly, what Thor has to do is like throw his hammer, but then like hold on to his hammer, and the inertia from the hammer pulls him along. Oh, there's a treasure box over there I could have been getting to try to find a hit point. But I didn't! Oh no! Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty dumb. Oh, I don't want to kill that Skelly man. So I've got to come from underneath him here. Like that. And we're still going to destroy the checkpoint, even though we're having trouble in this level. But I did watch a superhero show recently, because everybody said, I got recommended this show by a bunch of different people. They're like, hey man, I know you don't really like superhero stuff. It's not like most superhero stories. You're really going to like this show. They recommended me a show called The Boys. It's on Amazon. My wife watched it. She was the first one to tell me, like, oh, this show, it's awesome. It's not like other superhero stuff. Like, even though you're really sick of superhero stuff, it's not like, it's going to be really, really good. And I watched it, and as dumb as I think Thor is as a superhero, because this show rips off the Justice League, and watching it, I'm like, but the Justice League, like, aren't the popular ones nowadays. Like, the Avengers are the really popular ones now. And I kind of wish they had gone with, like, a Thor XP instead of just have, like, Superman and Aquaman. And the show was okay, by the way. Like, I'm not going to do, like, a full review on it. I'm not going to rant and rave, but it was okay. I feel like it was... It just kind of trotted out the big book of superhero cliches, if that makes sense. So I wasn't actually super into the show, but I finished the first season, and we'll see if I want to watch more of it when they make more of it. I don't know. Haven't decided. It's a pretty mediocre superhero story. And its saving grace for me is they throw in a lot of really gruesome violence, and I'm a big fan of really gruesome violence. So... that was a hit! That counted? I got my fairy back, though. I got my fairy, back fairy, back fairy. I'm sorry, I gotta stop that immediately. Alright, little Satan Jr. You stood still. I'm gonna go destroy this checkpoint. Just like so. Okay, let's not worry about those boxes. Those would be really difficult to get. And where do I want to... Oh, I don't have a goose! I tried to goose right there, and it didn't... Okay, we saved it, but I hit the goose button, but I don't actually have a goose. And I guess it is a goose now. I've just decided. It's not a penguin or a moose. Sometimes you just gotta decide if something is a goose or not. But okay, let us solve the mystery of the Tower 3. I guess I've been calling them medallions? This one's a clover, and I don't have a goose. Wow. I thought for sure I was going to have to take a hit in the lava to retrieve the 4-leaf clover. Which now we're just dunking on Irish mythology, aren't we? Yeah, I thought for sure I was going to take a hit there and then grab the other fairy. You can push a button to unequip your fairy if you really want to. A reason you might want to do that is if you're playing the local multiplayer, I guess, and one player has a fairy but doesn't need it. Really? They can give it to another player who might... like a less skilled player who might actually be able to make more use of it. But, just in case you were wondering, in case you were worried I wasn't doing the full hundo, we have all the medallions. Elephant, Root Beer, 4-leaf Clover, and Batman.
Shoutouts to Gordalot for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video and you want to see more, please tickle my thumb, leave a friendly comment, and ring my little bell.